Hello. Hello. How are you? It has been a hot fucking minute since I've recorded a podcast episode. I think the last episode that I recorded was actually um, October of 2025. But I've been wanting to get back to it, been trying to figure it out, just like timing and all of that. We've got a lot going on 24/7. But something happened to me today and it literally lit a fire under my fucking ass so much that I was like, I don't even care what I look like. I'm gonna throw a fucking hat on and I'm gonna press record and we're just gonna fucking riff about the topic. Um, the more I thought about it, the more I realized it wasn't actually about me. And that's why I think it's so important to talk about, right? As women, it wasn't about coffee and it definitely wasn't about the comment that was made, right? It was about what happens when you, as a woman, stop making yourself smaller for other people, right? And I think this is an important topic to discuss, right? So here's what happened. I made a video about DoorDash. Nothing groundbreaking. It was nothing fucking groundbreaking, right? Nothing controversial whatsoever. I was literally just joking about how I wanted a coffee this morning. Like this literally happened hours ago. Okay, we're discussing in real time. I looked at the DoorDash price, saw that it was going to cost me like 24 fucking dollars, and thought to myself, absolutely not. I'll go get it myself. And I ended up paying around like $12 for my coffee instead. That was literally the entire point of the video. I wasn't talking about money mindset. I wasn't talking about success. I wasn't talking about being fucking rich, which I'm not. I wasn't talking about being better than anybody else. I was talking about the price of coffee. And someone that I know in real life commented on the video and basically implied that I needed to stay humble and remember where I came from. And at first I laughed because I genuinely thought she had to be fucking joking. But then I started thinking about it. And the reason that it got me thinking is because this wasn't the first little jab, right? This wasn't the first sideways remark that she's made on my videos and in my comment sections over the last 6-ish months or so. This wasn't the first time somebody had something to say about the way that I show up online, right? I've been dealing with it for a long time, but I honestly think a lot of women experience this, maybe not publicly like I do, maybe not in comment sections, but definitely in their real lives, because what I've learned is that people are incredibly supportive of your growth until your growth starts making them uncomfortable. Everybody loves a comeback story. Everybody loves the woman who's struggling and trying and rebuilding, and people will cheer you on all day long when you're talking about how hard things are. But the second you start becoming confident, the second you start taking up space, the second you stop apologizing for wanting more, something shifts, right? Because confidence is a mirror, okay? And mirrors make people incredibly uncomfortable. When you start believing bigger things are possible for you, it forces other people to ask themselves why they're settling. Okay? When you start building the business, when you start setting boundaries, when you stop tolerating the same bullshit you've tolerated for years, right? When you start making decisions that are aligned with the life you actually fucking want, some people will get inspired and some people will get irritated. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because your growth shines a light on places where they aren't growing. And that can be really hard for people. Right? And I think one of the biggest lies that women have been sold is that if we're kind enough or humble enough or supportive enough, understanding enough, everybody will be happy for us. And that's just not fucking true. Okay? You can be the nicest person in the fucking room. You can bend over backwards for people. You can support everybody else's dreams. You can celebrate everybody's fucking wins. And there will still be people who are uncomfortable watching you succeed. And it's not because you're succeeding, it's because of what your success represents to them, right? And I think this is where a lot of women get stuck. The moment somebody judges them, the moment somebody disagrees, the moment somebody has something negative to say, they immediately start shrinking, right? They start questioning themselves. Maybe I'm too much. Maybe I should tone it down. Maybe I shouldn't post that. No. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't tell them about my goals. Maybe I shouldn't share my excitement. maybe I shouldn't celebrate my wins. Maybe I should make myself more digestible, more relatable, more comfortable. And before you know it, you're right back in the same place that you've always been, playing small, not because you want to, right? But because you're terrified of being fucking judged. And this is what I've realized over the many, many years that I've been doing this, that no matter what you do, somebody is going to have a fucking opinion. If you're broke, somebody has an opinion. If you're successful, somebody has an opinion. If you're quiet, somebody has an opinion. If you're too loud, somebody has an opinion. If you stay the same, they have an opinion. If you change, they have a fucking opinion, right? So if people are going to have opinions anyways, why not build the life that you actually fucking want? Why not pursue that thing that you're dreaming about? Why not launch the business? Why not lose the fucking weight? Why not set the boundary? Why not go after the relationship? Why not ask for more? The universe isn't on a budget, babe. You can have whatever the fuck you want. Why not become the woman that you've been imagining yourself becoming? Because here's the truth. Most people aren't afraid of failure. They are afraid of judgment. They're afraid of what people will think about them if they try. They're afraid of what people will say if they succeed. And they're afraid of what people will say if they fail. Right? So they stay exactly where they are. Okay? And that's one hell of a fucking prison to live in. And I'll never fucking live there. And the one thing that really just got me thinking about this is that years ago, comments like that would have devastated me, right? I would have spiraled. I would have obsessed over it. I would have been wondering, like, what did I do wrong? Why don't they like me? Like, because I genuinely, I know this person in real life. Like, real life. I would have tried to explain myself. I would have reached out and tried to apologize, even though I didn't do anything wrong. And I would have tried to make her understand what my intentions were with the video. But now I just see it differently. I just don't care, because somebody else's reaction to my growth is not my responsibility. Okay? Somebody else's discomfort is not my responsibility. Somebody else's assumptions about me are not my responsibility. My responsibility is to keep showing up, to keep growing, to keep building, to keep becoming, and to stop asking for fucking permission. And if you're listening to this today, that's what I want for you too, right? I want you to stop waiting for unanimous fucking approval. I want you to stop waiting for everybody to understand. They don't fucking care, right? They don't care to understand. If you've explained it and you've tried to get somebody, I don't care if it's your husband, your family, your kids, your fucking sister, your best friend. If you have tried to get them to understand and you have explained your reasoning until you're blue in the face and they still don't understand, it's because they don't fucking want to. And I need you to stop waiting for everybody to support you, because that day's never coming. There's always going to be somebody who thinks that you're too much. There will always be somebody who doesn't fucking get it. There's always going to be somebody who preferred the version of you that was easier to control, to predict, and to relate to. And that is okay, right? Because your job was never to make everybody comfortable. Your job is to build a life that you're proud of. Right? And if that makes some people uncomfortable, so fucking be it. That's probably a sign that you're finally growing, right? And I think that's why this comment hit me differently than it would have a few years ago, because there was a time when I would have read something like that and immediately started questioning myself. I would have wondered if I was coming across wrong, right? I would have been worried that people might think I was arrogant. I would have tried to explain myself. I would have done all of those things. And then I started thinking about everything it took to get me here, to get to where I am today in this beautiful fucking house. This house that I never thought was possible for me. Nobody sees 2018 version. Nobody knows what the 2018 version of me looks like. Nobody sees me drinking too much, resenting my husband, feeling stuck, living the same day over and over again, wondering if this was really all my life was going to be, right? Nobody Nobody sees the years of personal development, the therapy, the mistakes, the failed launches. God, so many failed launches. Do you know how many times I have launched something into the world with all of my followers and made $0? So many failures. The crying, the rebuilding after my divorce, the moments that I wanted to quit. They see a 30-second video about coffee and they think that that's the story. They think that I need to be humbled and that I need to remember where I came from. She even took it upon herself to post in the comment, like, didn't you and Ryan used to DoorDash? Yes, we did. When we were so fucking broke that we couldn't afford food, we did DoorDash. That still doesn't mean that I have to spend $24 on a fucking coffee today. Hello? Hello? They don't, people don't see the years it took to become the woman who can buy her daughter concert tickets or take her on a birthday weekend or build a business from scratch or get back up after life continues to punch me in the fucking face. I did that. I have done that. That is what I have done. On purpose. They see the result and they create a story about how I got here. And that's why I care so deeply about the work that I do with women, because I know how many of you are still sitting in that 2018 version of yourselves. Not because you're incapable, not because you're lazy, not because you don't have potential. It's because you're terrified of what happens when you start to change. The truth is, if you decide you want more out of your life, somebody will have something to say about it. If you stay the same, somebody will have something to say about it too. Okay? So you might as well just fucking build the life anyways. Because who fucking cares? At the end of the day, at the end of the fucking day, we are all just sitting on a fucking floating rock, doing things that bring us joy and make us happy. And whether that's building a business or writing a book or being a stay-at-home mom or climbing the corporate ladder or whatever your dream is, I'm never going to shit on your dream as long as it's yours. I'll help you get there as long as it's yours, as long as it's not some fucking box that society tried to shove you in that you don't really even want. Right? You might as well build the life that you want anyways, because people are always going to fucking talk about you. And at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter what they have to say. Right? All right. This was a fun way to get back into podcasting. Comments don't usually light a fire under my ass like that, but I think it was because it's been happening. The jabs have been coming for months, and I've seen it playing out in real time, and the constant questioning and the constant just like challenging. It's like, if you have something to say, then fucking say it. And if you don't agree, then, you know, maybe you could create your own page, stitch my videos. We can have a public discourse about it. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, happy Monday. See you next time.